where even the air prays, where every stone has mantras inscribed upon it, there stands the abode of Mahadev, Kedarnath. Here, time stops and begins. A mystery begins here, one that has challenged both science and faith for thousands of years. It is said that the Shivling is not an ordinary stone, it is a symbol of energy, a center where every power of creation gathers together. But is it possible that the Shivling is actually a scientific device, an ancient nuclear reactor? Believe it or not, pick up India's radioactivity map. Apart from the government's nuclear reactors, the places where the highest radiation has been found are our Jyotirlingas, Kedarnath, Kashi Vishwanath, Bhima Shankar, Somnath. In the soil and water around all these places, radioactive traces have been found. Think, why is there a tradition of pouring water over every Shivling? Why was it said that Shiva must be kept cool? Because the Shivling is the center of energy. Just as a reactor has a cooling system to keep it from overheating, in the same way, water is poured upon the Shivling so that it remains calm and stable. Now think, all the substances dear to Mahadev, bilva leaves, datura, ak flowers, hibiscus, all have similar chemical structures. These elements possess the ability to absorb radiation. This is not a coincidence. This was cognitive science, known to our sages thousands of years ago. And now a shocking thing. Look at the design of India's Baba atomic reactor. Its shape is exactly like a Shivling, a round dome on top, a control section in the middle, and an outlet pipe below. Just as the water from the ritual ablution, Abhishek, flows outward through a channel. Is this merely a symbolic resemblance, or has modern science adopted the very form that our sages discovered thousands of years ago? It is said, when Mahadev is calm, creation continues. When he is angry, destruction occurs. Now understand why our ancestors used to say, if Mahadev becomes displeased, there will be annihilation, because he is that ultimate power, the supreme energy that creates and destroys alike. See how, in each of our rituals, science is hidden, pouring water, placing bilva leaves, using Ganga water. Behind all these lies the thought of energy balance at the atomic level. Our ancestors wove science into our traditions, so that every human being could live science, even if they did not study it. Now the question arises, if the Shivling is such a scientific symbol, does its mystery end here? No, the real mystery begins now. For we shall travel from Kedarnath to Rameshwaram, where 7 ancient Shiva temples are situated in a single straight line on the 79 degrees east longitude. What force was it that established such grand temples thousands of kilometers apart on one celestial line without GPS, without satellites, without computers? Was it a divine plan, or a lost science that even today stands beyond our reach? From here begins the story of the Shiva Shakti axis line. But the mystery of Mahadev does not end here, for Shiva himself is the embodiment of the 5 elements Panchabhuta, earth, water, fire, air, and sky, the lords of these 5 elements. In India, there are 5 principal Shiva temples which are called the Panchabhuta Shivalayas. It is said that these temples are not only symbols of the elements, but truly the centers of the energies of those very elements. And the astonishing thing is the structure, environment, and geographical situation of each of these 5 temples scientifically match the element they represent. Ekambareswarar, Kanchipuram. The Ekambareswarar temple of Kanchipuram symbolizes the earth element. Here the Shivling is made of clay, and it is believed that Mother Parvati herself formed it by kneading the clay with the water of the Ganga. The soil here is extremely magnetic, and slight geothermal activity has been found beneath the temple. Is this not the visible manifestation of Earth's energy itself? The temple's architecture, its south-facing entrance, and its overall design are such that the moment one enters, a feeling of steadiness and patience arises in the mind, which is the very nature of the earth element. Now we move toward the Jambukeswarar temple, where Shiva resides in the form of the water element. Here, the Shivling is always surrounded by water. No matter how intense the heat, the water never dries up. Scientists have found that beneath this region, there is a natural water source, which functions like a self-sustaining aquifer. This water never becomes impure, just like the water of the Ganga. Is this a natural phenomenon or a divine occurrence? This temple teaches us that emotion and compassion should flow like water. Only then does peace remain in life. Arunachaleswarar, Tiruvannamalai, fire element. At the very mention of this name, one feels the presence of fire. Here the mountain itself is considered the form of Shiva, and Mahadev is worshipped as the Agni Lingam, the linga of fire. Every year, during the Kartik Deepam festival, a great lamp is lit on the mountain peak, visible from kilometers away. But scientists say that the rocks of this region contain a high amount of silica, because of which they reflect the rays of the sun and create a thermal energy center. That means here, nature itself functions as fire. Fire, which is the symbol of penance, the symbol of transformation, and also the nature of Mahadev. Sri Kalahasti, Andhra Pradesh, air element. Now we speak of the Kalahasti temple, where Shiva is worshipped in the form of the air element. Here the Shivling is always in self-motion. It is said that within the temple lamps flicker even without wind. The architecture is such that the air pressure inside remains naturally balanced. This is the finest example of Venturi effect and the science of airflow, which was applied thousands of years ago. Air, the breath of life, which we inhale every moment yet cannot see. Perhaps that is why Mahadev here exists in an invisible form. And now we come to the most mysterious place, Chidambaram. Here, Shiva dances in the form of Nataraja, and this temple symbolizes the sky element. The greatest mystery here is the Chidambaram Rahashyam, where behind the curtain there is nothing, only empty space. That void, which is the source of every creation, this itself is the quantum vacuum from which all energy originates. Is this not the very principle which modern science calls zero-point energy? Our ancient sages even worshipped the void Shunya as God, because they had realized that the invisible itself is the foundation of creation. Now think, if you see these 5 Shiva temples on a map, you will find that they are situated on the same axis, as if connected by an invisible line of energy. Earth, water, fire, air, and sky. All these elements are united by the Jyotirlinga form of Mahadev. Could this be an earth energy grid? A network that keeps the magnetic field of the planet stable, so that life remains balanced? Mahadev is not only the worshipped one, he is the balance of creation itself. Every element, every force is connected to his form, and now the question arises, was all this only a matter of devotion, or part of a vast cosmic design? Because now we will enter into that mystery which has left even science astonished. The Shiva Shakti line, that straight line of energy, which extends from Kedarnath to Rameshwaram. In the icy silence of the Himalayas, where time seems to stand still, and the wind whispers the secrets of ancient sages, there stands a temple called Kedarnath. If you draw an invisible line from this temple, passing through the heart of India, that line touches 6 more sacred Shiva temples and extends southward in a perfectly straight path. But the question arises, how? How did our ancestors, without satellites, without drones, without GPS, build 7 temples thousands of kilometers apart in such perfect alignment? Was it divine guidance, or a lost ancient science, or something that lies beyond our understanding? This is the Shiva Shakti line, the invisible line of power that connects the 7 sacred abodes of Lord Shiva. Today we embark on a journey into this mystery, diving into the depth of each temple, until you decide for yourself, is all this merely a coincidence, or part of an ancient cosmic code? Mystery number 1. Kedarnath, the Northern Gateway. Nestled in the lap of the Himalayas at an altitude of 11,755 feet above sea level, the Kedarnath temple is not merely a pilgrimage, it is a spiritual energy center. It is one of the 12 Jyotirlingas of Lord Shiva. According to the Mahabharata, after the Kurukshetra war, the Pandavas set out in search of Lord Shiva to atone for their deeds. To avoid them, Shiva took the form of a bull and disappeared into the earth. The hump that remained visible became the Shivling of Kedarnath. Later, Adi Shankaracharya restored the temple here and made it a symbol of India's spiritual unity. But the real mystery begins here. Kedarnath is the first temple that lies on this mysterious straight line, the Shiva Shakti axis at 79 degrees east longitude. During the devastating floods of 2013, when the entire region was destroyed, the temple stood firm. It is said that a massive rock stopped behind the temple and shielded it from destruction. The locals believe it was Mahadev himself, who protected his own abode. So, is this temple merely a place of worship or a divine design created by God himself? Mystery number 2. Kaleshwaram, the confluence of rivers and energies, situated at the confluence of the Godavari and Pranahita rivers, in the northern region of Telangana, stands the Kaleshwaram temple. This site is extraordinary because here, on a single pedestal, 2 Shivlings are established, Lord Kaleshwar and Lord Mukteshwar. This site is not seen in any other temple in India. Devotees believe that worshipping here frees a person from the cycle of birth and death. The location of the temple is equally mysterious, built between 2 powerful rivers, as if it were a natural confluence of energies. And astonishingly, this temple too lies on the same straight line that passes through Kedarnath. So, was this site chosen merely for its river confluence? Or did the ancient sages select it based on deep geographical or cosmic understanding? Modern science calls it coincidence, but faith says it is a divine map engraved by God himself. Mystery number 3, Srikalahasti, the element of air and the breath of life. On the banks of the Swarnamukhi River in Andhra Pradesh stands the Srikalahasti temple, one of the most mysterious Shiva shrines in India. It is called the Kashi of the South, and is one of the Pancha Bhuta Sthalams, representing the air element. According to ancient scriptures, here Lord Shiva manifested in invisible form as air and established himself as the Vayulingam. It is said that even when the sanctum is completely closed, the lamps near the Shivling continue to burn, their flames gently flickering, as if touched by an unseen breeze. This temple remains a puzzle even for modern scientists. But what's even more astonishing is that Srikalahasti too lies on the same 79 degrees east longitude line where Kedarnath and Kaleshwaram are located. Is this mere coincidence, or did the ancient sages possess knowledge of the Earth's energy lines, a knowledge that has now been lost? This temple reminds us that Shiva exists not only in stone, but also in that invisible breath which gives motion to every life. Mystery number 4. Ekambareswarar, the union of Earth and Shakti. Located in Kanchipuram, Tamil Nadu, the Ekambareswarar temple represents the earth element. Spread over 25 acres, this grand temple is one of the largest and oldest Shiva temples of South India. Legend says that goddess Parvati created a Shivling here from sacred clay under a divine mango tree and performed intense penance beside it. Pleased by her devotion, Lord Shiva appeared himself and married her at this very spot. This divine union became the symbol of the oneness of Purusha and Prakriti, of Shakti and Shiva. The Shivling here is still considered Swayambhu, self-manifested, made of earth and pulsating with living energy. And yes, this temple too is situated on the same Shiva Shakti line, as if this very point anchors the Earth's energy for the entire Indian subcontinent. Is this temple merely a place of worship, or the anchor point of the Earth's own energy field? Perhaps the sages saw India not merely as geography, but as a science of energy itself. Mystery number 5. Chidambaram, the sky element and the secret of the void. Located in Tamil Nadu, the famous Nataraja temple of Chidambaram represents the sky element. Here Lord Shiva dances in the form of Nataraja, Anand Tandav, the dance of bliss, the divine dance that drives the rhythm of the universe. But the real mystery is hidden inside the Sanctum Sanctorum. There, along with the idol, there is also an empty space, a void that is called Chidambara Rahasya, the secret of Chidambaram. This void is kept behind a golden curtain, which symbolizes that God is beyond all forms, present in everything, and yet invisible. And the astonishing thing is, Chidambaram too is located on the same straight line that extends from Kedarnath to Rameshwaram. Can this be merely a coincidence on the map? Or is it a part of some divine geometry where the 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, and sky, are placed upon a single line of energy? Mystery number 6. Rameswaram. The bridge between earth and heaven. At the southern tip of India, where land touches the ocean, lies Rameswaram, the land of Lord Rama's penance. It is said that here, before going to Lanka, Lord Rama made a Shiva lingam from sand and worshipped it. He gained strength from Shiva and began the war. This temple is one among the 4 dhams, holy abodes, and its corridors are 1,200 meters long, as if it were a gateway connecting earth and heaven. Now imagine, If you draw a straight line from Rameswaram towards the north, that line will pass through Chidambaram, Kanchipuram, Srikalahasti, Kaleshwaram, and finally reach Kedarnath. This line, around 2,500 kilometers long, is almost exactly aligned with 79 degrees east longitude. Without a compass, without GPS, without modern instruments, how did ancient India achieve such precision? Was it part of a geological mystery, or was it the very signature of Lord Shiva upon the earth? Mystery number 7. Celestial energy, or divine design. When you connect all these 7 temples on a map, an astonishing pattern appears. A straight line, known as the Shiva Shakti line. Some scholars believe that this line lies on Earth's ley lines, those pathways where invisible energies flow, like the flow of life force along the human spine. By constructing these temples on those precise energy points, the ancient sages maintained the planet's spiritual balance. Others believe our ancestors were masters of astronomy, geomagnetism, and cosmic energy. And some call it simply a miracle of faith. Shiva's own map, his own line, science, belief, or cosmic signal, from the icy silence of the Himalayas to the sands of Rameswaram, 7 ancient Shiva temples stretch across centuries and cultures, bound by a single invisible thread. Is it mere coincidence? Or a lost science where astrology, geography, and energy were deeply intertwined? Perhaps these temples were created just as the human body has energy centers, the chakras. Similarly, these are the energy points of India, and perhaps this is Shiva's message. He is not confined to any one form. He flows through every element: earth, water, fire, air, and sky. India is not merely a country. It is a living mandala, a cosmic canvas where science, spirituality, and mystery breathe together. The Shiva Shakti line is not just a mark on the map. It is that invisible energy which connects us, awakens us, and reminds us that some mysteries are not to be seen, but felt. Now observe carefully. All these temples are almost on the same longitude, 79 degrees east, and in a straight line. Can that really be a coincidence? According to the geographical data of NASA and ISRO, this line aligns with Earth's magnetic poles, parallel to what is called the Earth's magnetic resonance line. It is said that wherever this line passes, Earth's energy remains most balanced. Perhaps that is why at all these places the mind, body, and soul feel a deep sense of peace. So, was this merely a plan of devotion, or a cosmic blueprint designed to stabilize Earth's energy? It is possible that these temples act as energy stabilizers, like modern nuclear reactors. Perhaps that is why we pour water on the Shiva Lingam to keep the energy cool and balanced. This is Shiva, the union of power and peace. But one mystery still remains, because the center of this line is Ujjain, where Mahadev as Mahakal controls the time of the entire creation. And from there opens the next chapter, where distance, numbers, and cosmic mathematics become linked with the mystery of Shiva. Till now we have seen how from Kedarnath to Rameswaram, a single straight line, the Shiva Shakti axis line, spreads like India's spiritual backbone. But where is the midpoint of this line? From where is all this energy balanced? That point is Ujjain, where stands the Mahakaleshwar Jyotirlinga, a place considered to be the very center of the earth. Ujjain, where the control of time begins. In Sanskrit, Kal means time, and Mahakal, the one who controls time. It is said that when creation began, the first ray of the sun fell upon this land. Ujjain lies exactly upon the Tropic of Cancer, and for thousands of years it has been regarded as the center of solar calculations. In the ancient observatories here, more than 2,000 years ago, calculations of the sun, moon, and planets were made, without any modern instruments, the Earth's center and the divine coordinates. Now hear another astonishing fact. When British scientists in the 19th century determined the Earth's main longitude and latitude lines, they found that the Tropic of Cancer passes exactly through Ujjain, the very place that Sanatan tradition had long regarded as the center of the Earth. Thus, even through the eyes of modern science, Ujjain emerged as the Earth's geographical centerline, Mahakal, and the mysterious mathematics of distance. But the story doesn't end there, because from the Mahakaleshwar temple spreads a mysterious pattern linking all the major Jyotirlingas of India. See this. Distance between Mahakaleshwar and Somnath is 777 kilometers. Mahakaleshwar and Omkareshwar is 111 kilometers. Mahakaleshwar and Bhimashankar is 666 kilometers. Mahakaleshwar and Kashi Vishwanath is 999 kilometers. Mahakaleshwar and Mallikarjuna is 999 kilometers. Mahakaleshwar and Trimbakeshwar is 555 kilometers. Mahakaleshwar and Grishneshwar is 555 kilometers. Mahakaleshwar and Bajnath is 999 kilometers. Mahakaleshwar and Rameshwaram is 1,999. Now think, can it be mere coincidence that all these distances follow the same numerical pattern 111-555-666-777-999, the so-called divine numbers? Balance of time and energy. In Sanskrit scriptures it is said, Mahakal Sarvakal Namniyanta, Mahakal is the controller of all time, meaning that every motion and every change of time is directed by the will of Mahakal. Perhaps this is the reason why these distance patterns are seen not merely as numbers but as wave frequencies of energy, frequency ratios. Just as in music there is balance among notes, in the same way within these distances, cosmic resonance is hidden. Is this an energy grid or a cosmic blueprint? In reality, all these temples are located on the geomagnetic flow lines of the Earth. If you look at a map of the Earth's magnetic waves, you will find that wherever these lines intersect, there stand ancient Shiva temples. And perhaps this is why when one meditates, chants, or worships at these places, the mind instantly becomes calm, because the human biofield synchronizes with Earth's energy. The scientific perspective of our sages, this was not merely devotion. It was deep science which combined architecture, geography, astronomy, and energy balance to create a living cosmic network. Hence it is said, Yatra Shiva Tatra Shakti, Yatra Shakti Tatra Jivanam. Where there is Shiva, there is energy. And where there is energy, there is life. Now think, if Ujjain is truly the center of the Earth, then are the remaining Jyotirlingas working as energy stabilizers? Are they for Earth what chakras are for the human body? It is possible. Our ancestors not only understood the universe, but also taught the way to live it. And Mahakal is the master of that invisible clock, which keeps every fragment of creation bound within time and energy. That is why it is said, when Mahakal smiles, the universe moves, and when he becomes still, the creation itself stops. But one question still remains. If the Shiva Lingam is the source of energy, then are they truly radioactive? And is that the reason why water is poured upon them continuously? This mystery takes us to the next chapter, where science and spirituality meet upon the same Shiva Lingam for the first time. Have you ever wondered why continuous water is poured upon every Shiva Lingam? Why there is always a metallic vessel above the lingam from which a steady stream of water drips? And why it is said that it is necessary to keep Shiva cool? This is not merely devotion, it is a scientific process. The Shiva Lingam is not only a symbol, but a center of energy connected with the Earth's magnetic field, geomagnetic field, and radioactive waves. According to modern scientists, every stone and every metal has a natural vibration frequency. But the shape of the Shiva Lingam is a perfect ellipsoid, that is, a cosmic energy concentrator. When the rays of the sun fall upon this shape, it focuses and transmits them upward as energy waves. Therefore, it is called an energy transmitter. This is the reason why all the major Shiva Lingams in India are situated at those locations, where geomagnetic resonance is strongest, meaning the Earth's energy and cosmic waves meet one another there. Now let us talk about the greatest mystery, the tradition of pouring water. In the ancient scriptures it is said, Shivam Shantam, Shivam Shitalam, Shiva is peace, Shiva is cool, because he is the source of energy. When the concentration of energy at any place increases, the temperature also rises. Hence, the Shiva Lingam is constantly kept cool with water, so that its energy remains balanced. If you look at this from the viewpoint of modern science, it is exactly the same principle as the cooling system of a nuclear reactor, where constant water flow is used to regulate temperature. Now we come to the most interesting question, are the Shiva Lingams truly radioactive? When the stones of several ancient temples of India, such as Somnath, Kashi Vishwanath, and Mahakaleshwar, were examined, It was found that they contain mineral elements like uranium and thorium. These are the same elements that emit natural radiation, a subtle but continuous energy. Therefore, the constant flow of water controls and balances that energy. And this is why it is said, never keep the Shiva Lingam dry. Now think, the Shiva Lingam is not merely a stone, but a microcosm of the universe. Just as our body has 7 chakras, similarly on the land of India, the 12 Jyotirlingas are spread like cosmic chakras of energy. When we meditate upon Shiva, we connect directly with the energy of the earth, that energy which flows both within and without us. Shiva, the union of science and spirituality. Perhaps that is why it is said, without Shivam there is no Shakti, and without Shakti there is no Shivam, meaning, energy and balance are both interdependent. The Shiva Lingam is the symbol of that oneness, where the atom and the soul vibrate at the same frequency. The final mystery, why the Shiva Lingam is the beginning and the end of creation. In every particle of the universe, there is a fraction of Shiva. The one who creates is also the one who dissolves. The circular base of the Shiva Lingam symbolizes Shakti, energy, and the upper semi-spherical part represents Shiva consciousness. When these two unite, the universe is born. When they separate, creation ceases to exist. That means the Shiva Lingam is the symbol of the Big Bang, the point from which everything began, and to which everything will return. Hence it is said, Nadam bindum kalam rupam lingam iti vidhayate. That point which transforms into sound is the lingam. That energy which takes form is Shiva. So now the question arises, did our ancestors truly know about atomic science, energy balance, and Earth's magnetic secrets thousands of years ago? Or is Shiva himself that cosmic consciousness, who even today never ceases to energize us? Because as long as there is vibration in the universe, there is Shiva. As long as there is energy, there is life. And as long as there is life, Om Namah Shivaya will continue to resonate. Shiva is not opposed to science, nor separate from faith. He is the confluence of both, because science tells how, and Shiva tells why.